Tonight, brace for a plague. Mice on the rise across the region and they're heading for towns. And Australia's top diplomat in Cyprus stops by the region in a bid to boost international trade.
This is Southern Cross News with Tim Hatfield.
Good evening, but first tonight, the futures of the Menindee Lake System and the Murray-Darling Basin look bright after a roundtable discussion was held in Broken Hill. Representatives from state and federal agencies and Lower Darling stakeholders met yesterday to discuss the management of the lakes and the future infrastructure.
The Murray-Darling Basin Plan looks set to deliver more water and a healthier Menindee Lake System.
There's the Northern Basin Review, but there's also some pretty significant changes in the southern part of the basin, and that's where the management of Menindee Lakes and the ideas about how you can get more efficient use of the water in Menindee Lakes has come from, and so that's obviously been a really big topic of discussion.
30 representatives at local, state and federal level spent the day discussing the plan involving the lake system. There's currently 36 basin projects in the pipeline, which will be presented to the MDBA Ministerial Council in June. One of those are the engineering works for the Menindee Lakes, which includes a new regulator between Lake Quarndilla and Menindee.
The New South Wales Government is busy trying to figure out what's that best configuration that maximises environmental, economic, social, Aboriginal outcomes, and so right at the moment they're still working on that.
Local water activists say it's a long-awaited step in the right direction, but if those in charge mess it up, they should be out of a job.
Finally, they might be moving ahead to getting something done, and they keep on getting stuck in the Menindee Lakes as the worst evaporation pond in the country, but they do nothing to rectify the situation to bring it up to modern day standards.
The Department of Primary Industries also reassured locals that the Menindee Lakes would not be decommissioned and that they are looking at ways to keep more water in the system. The authority plans to hold further meetings in the coming months. Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Last year, farmers recorded massive grain harvests across the region, but the leftover grain is fueling the spread of pests on farms, and there are fears that mice are also making their ways now into local towns.
Mice are on the move. It's predicted a mice plague is on its way to the region, and experts are warning farmers to be prepared.
So associated with that harvest is you get pre-harvest losses of grain due to heads busting off or shaking out.
Leftover stubble and grain has given the mice perfect breeding conditions and ample supply of food. After continuous monitoring, the CSIRO put the warning out, and they're urging farmers to get on top of the pests as soon as possible.
The best way to do that is to get out and have a walk in their paddock and actually count active burrows.
1 mice burrow per square 100 metres and you have a problem.
That's the threshold for economic damage. So that's about the point that they should be looking to do some sort of control.
With the mice rapidly breeding, they are causing damage to crops and making more work for farmers.
There's the economic loss, farmers having to re-sow their crops and those sorts of things. But there's also a huge amount of social stress that's caused by mice.
And the cooler weather has pushed the mice into townships, and businesses around the region are fast selling out of mice control measures. Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
A man has died following a car crash in Mimley in the APY lands in the state's far north. At 7:30 last night, police came across the car, rolled over on the side of the road. They gave first aid to the driver, but the 44-year-old died at the scene. Major crash investigators were on the remote location today. The death brings the state's road toll to 17 compared to 19 at the same time last year. The High Commissioner to the Republic of Cyprus is spending 3 days in the region on the lookout for any business opportunities that catch his eye. It's His Excellency Alan Sweetman's job to strengthen the relationship of Cyprus and Australia, and he may very well have found partnerships up along the Upper Spencer Gulf.
His Excellency spent yesterday in Whyalla on a mission to find potential business deals. 4
really exciting things came out of discussions yesterday that clearly nobody had thought of at this end, and I wasn't even aware of. And the point of my travel here is to keep unearthing that stuff.
There's possibility of purchasing algae and saltbush from the region to feed livestock in Cyprus, the island country in the Mediterranean, but it doesn't stop there.
There are some other opportunities around a paint product as well, and also a livestock pellet product as well around the Port Pirie areas.
The High Commissioner has also been impressed by the Tower of Power at Sundrop Farms. Cyprus currently uses oil-fueled power to desalinate ocean water, but is inspired by the solar thermal technology used in Port Augusta.
The more I've spoken to people about South Australia, about things that are happening here around the Gulf, the more excited they've got.
Sundrop have identified that they would be an international training ground, and there's a lot of people that want to know about their technology, and they're using Port Augusta as their training point.
His Excellency will conclude his visit to the Upper Spencer Gulf in Port Pirie tomorrow.
My role as a High Commissioner is to go out on the community's behalf, on Australians' behalf, to make those linkages and to also be there as a resource to help people connect with the right places.
Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News.
As Adelaide prepares to start building new vessels for the Australian Navy in 2020, our region will be getting a briefing on what the Defence Department will need. A briefing on the project will be held in Whyalla during the first week of May. For those interested in being part of the build, representatives from the Defence Department will present to businesses interested on the process leading up to 2020. $89 billion is expected to be spent on delivering the patrol vessels and frigates. The member for Grey Rowan Ramsey says he's encouraging businesses in our region to attend. He says the build will need more than just manufacturing businesses involved to be a success.
Not only manufacturing ability, but with platforms that might provide intelligent use of supply lines, for instance, or might transport systems which will assist in the construction.
Well, stay with us. Still to come in tonight's local news, the push to help remote students get online to help with their schooling. The details ahead. Welcome back. Two Port Pirie men were arrested yesterday afternoon after police allegedly found a gun on their property. Police searched the address and uncovered a semi-automatic rifle which was unregistered. Police say the duo was trying to illegally sell the rifle. The 50 and 39-year-olds were arrested and refused bail. They now face a number of charges, including carrying a firearm without a licence. Port Augusta has hosted a statewide conference for parents and educators trying to make schooling more inclusive for students in rural and remote areas. Today, a focus of the Isolated Children's Parents Association was improving internet access for kids who rely on School of the Air.
School of the Air was once all about radio, but these days, kids who live in some of the most remote places in the country can see their teacher face to face.
2 to 3 lessons a day, half-an-hour lessons with their teacher on the internet, and the rest is carried out by either a parent who supervises their kid during the school day or a governess.
It's a 21st century classroom only made possible with the internet.
We rely 100% on the internet to do lessons. So the kid's teacher is down here in Port Augusta, and like my daughter, for example, is 820 kilometres away.
But the service isn't perfect, one of the issues brought up at today's annual ICAP conference. This is the 46th of its type. The theme this year is going the extra mile, both literally and figuratively.
It's just making people aware of the issues we face and trying to get equitable education for our children. Living where we do.
The day was full of solutions to problems parents face trying to give their kids the same education as those in the city.
Well, one of the motions they're also asking for today is that the Hawker school bus route be extended so it's inclusive of more kids.
And more information for parents of rural and remote children is on our Facebook page. Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News.
Students from a special school in Port Augusta have travelled to Port Pirie today to take part in an education session run by the Road Safety Group. They jumped on board bikes and travelled around the road safety course, learning all of the rules of the road.
They know when to stop.
Because the light turned red.
And why it's important to use hand signals.
and it's important. It's a sign to when you turn around.
The children spent the day on two wheels, learning all the ins and outs of riding a bike on roads.
It's our first attempt with special children, and they're having the ball at the moment, and they know the road rules very good. They know how to keep left, they know that red means stop and green means go.
The safety group takes road education very seriously, especially because one day it could save a child's life. And the education course is the perfect way to give the children the practical experience they need.
As long as the children enjoy themselves, they go away with some knowledge of the road rules, and we'll be quite pleased with that.
Real-life situations are imitated, including people crossing roads and busy intersections. And the children said they've learnt a lot from the day.
Waiting for the train to go past.
Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us when we return after the break as the footy kicks off in Broken Hill Grand Final time in Port Lincoln Cricket. A match preview next. Welcome back. National Youth Week kicked off across the Lower EP today. Former Crow star Graham Johncock is heavily involved, providing guidance and support for the local events, including an amazing race to cap off the week-long festivities.
Graham Johncock is known for playing a crucial role in big teams, but now he's guiding young people to fulfil theirs.
It's a National Youth Week, which is an opportunity for youth to get their voice or points of views across in the community, and just gives them a bit more power, I guess, in having a say in the community and what they believe that the needs are.
The former Crows defender is heavily involved in West Coast Youth's community support team, helping pass down some of the qualities that made him a star.
We run YAC, which is a Youth Advisory Committee, and it's important that we empower them to organise, run programs and organise fundraising events so that they can make enough money to run their own leadership camps and gain leadership skills through those avenues.
EP Youth provides local young people an opportunity to display positive welfare through planned activities. Some successful graduates happy now to guide others.
They actually helped me a lot with my schooling, and actually I didn't really want to finish year 12, but ended up still doing year 12, and then eventually I started doing some volunteering with them, and then they offered me a traineeship in youth work after volunteering with them for a long time.
The community support group also driving troubled youths off the street.
A few years ago we had some issues with a lot of youth, walking the streets and staying out late at night and stuff like that. So another initiative that West Coast have started up is a youth street bus where we drive around on Friday and Saturday nights and get the youth off the streets and get them home safely. So it's all about empowering our youth and making sure that they feel safe in their own community.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Tourism brand Out of the Ordinary Outback is giving one of Broken Hill's motels a facelift after acquiring the property. The Argent Broken Hill, formerly known as the Silver Spade Motel, is the second property under the brand after it also acquired the Tri-State Safaris last year. The rooms are currently undergoing refurbishment. The Argent will provide accommodation to tourists on the safaris and also other visitors to the Silver City. Well, it's been a long wait, but footy will return to the Broken Hill this weekend. An exciting season lays ahead for all four clubs, with round one expected to have two close clashes. Our Patrick Gronke has the details.
Footy is back in the Silver City. After a gruelling pre-season, South, North, West and Central will get their first true hit out this weekend and will be looking to start their season with a bang. Two cracking games are lined up, with North battling West here at the Jube and South hosting Central at Alma. North and West both lost their first games in last weekend's Lightning Cup. North jumped out to an early lead against Central but let them back in the game, while West struggled against South. The Bulldogs are the reigning premiers and have a quality lineup this weekend. West have a talented young forward line capable of scoring, but North's defence might be too tough. South and Central will be an interesting game, with both sides sporting impressive squads. The return of Cody Shawn bolsters South's offence, which is already very strong with Brown and Bird the tall timber. Central will have to bring something special to combat the Roos midfield contingent, but don't count out the Magpies just yet. And as the footy season returns, so does Footy Tips. And Broken Hill's tipster has made his picks for this week.
Welcome back to Broken Hill football in round one, which will see North take on West at the Jube. North very strong after their premiership win last year, will certainly be looking for a win. West, on the other hand, have got a new coach and they'll be want to be up and about, but I think North will be too strong on the day by 30 to 40 points. Then we head over the hill to see Central take on South. South, with Craig Thomas back, will certainly be looking for a win, and a new coach at Centrals, they'll certainly be up and about as well. But I think it'll be the Southerners easy on the day.
So, local footy action is now only one more sleep away. We've waited 209 days for this, and tomorrow all 4 clubs will take to the field to kick off what is set to be an action-packed 2017 season. Tim.
Patrick Reinke reporting there. The highly anticipated Port Lincoln Shield cricket final between Southern Air South and Tasman gets underway tomorrow. Cricket Association President Andrew Frick took out the honours for the league's most valuable player, but admits he'd happily trade the award for Tasmans to take their first premiership in 11 years.
An outstanding season capped off by the league's highest individual honour.
It's great to win individual awards. It's probably the way this one's done. It's definitely recognition for performing well with a bat and ball, but it's a team game, and I'm just happy that we can contribute to wins and ultimately playing in a grand final.
It's the second time Andrew Frick has been named most valuable player, but admits he would much prefer to take home the Shield final on Saturday.
We can't wait. It's been 11 seasons since we've been in the grand final, so we've got a bloke that played in that one, Matt Smith, still at the club, still playing in the A grade, so it'll be great to bookend his career in a sense and get him one, and hopefully get some of us other boys a medal around our neck and finish the season on a pretty good high.
It's the first time Tasmans has competed in a grand final since 2006, and although they beat the top side to get there, Southern Air South are confident it won't happen again.
We had a slip up a couple of weeks ago against Tasmans. They got the better of us. We got a bit of momentum back last week, so hopefully we can carry it through to this weekend.
Tasmans looking forward to the first ball in front of a big crowd.
There's a few supporters that are all excited, coming out of the woodwork for us, so I think we'll have a decent crowd on Saturday.
And given Andrew is our resident tipster too, his pick for the premiership may be a little obvious.
There's only one team you can pick this week, and that's the Tasman boys. Won our way straight through after knocking off SES, as you said earlier, and look, we're up for it. We're raring, and we can't wait to hopefully lift home that Shield on the weekend.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us after the break. A look at the weekend weather. Welcome back to the weather now, and first tonight's weather photos snapped by Gary Newman. A stunning shot of Port Pirie smelter lit up at night. If you have a weather photo to share, you can email it into us. A fine and sunny day today. Port Augusta 22, 21 in Whyalla, 23 for Port Pirie, Port Lincoln a cloudy 20 and a sunny 21 in Broken Hill. On the national satellite, patch of cloud continues pushing showers across the region. On the waters, the winds to 20 knots and southerly tomorrow, seas below a metre and also southerly. So looking at tomorrow, fine for the weekend, a fine 23 in Port Augusta, though Whyalla will see some showers and 22. Port Lincoln also with lingering showers and 20. Port Pirie heading for 24 and a sunny 22 in Broken Hill. Showers then lingering on Sunday in Port Lincoln, 23, a cloudy 19 for Cleve, Woodden a fine on 24. Whyalla with a fine 22, while Port Augusta is looking sunny on 23, the same down in Kadina. Port Pirie with a sunny 25 to wrap up the weekend, Clare with 20, Broken Hill 21 for Sunday, and most parts looking at sunny skies next week. Well, we always make a point of farewelling members of our team when they leave us. You won't have seen Brenton Horan before, but he's one of the champion editors who help put our show together each evening, making us look as good as we do. He leaves Southern Cross tonight, but we send him on his way with plenty of well wishes for whatever comes next. Good luck, mate. That is the local news for this evening. I'm Tim Hatfield from the Southern Cross News team. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Good night.